It's Tuesday, May 5th. You're watching this live. We're in 2017. I'm Sam Sheffer, and welcome back to Technically Speaking. As you know, we start the show off with a poll every single time. And I think we might have done this one already, but it's timely and worth revisiting. So today's poll asks what desktop operating system you use or you're currently on. I'm going to safely assume it'll be somewhat of a tie between Windows and Mac, but just for fun, we'll include Linux as well as Chrome OS. And we're going to come back to it later. So to vote, simply comment with your choice with a hashtag preceding it. So for example, Windows will be hashtag Windows, and that'll count. You just type in hashtag and then Windows. So I don't really care if you're on Windows 7 or Windows 10, if you're on like Sierra or even Snow Leopard, but just, you know, Mac, Snow Leopard. That was my favorite Mac operating system. I think that came with the first laptop I ever got from Mac. So
Tiger was mine.
Tiger, you've been in the game for a while. So Mac OS, Linux, Windows, or Chrome OS. And yeah, we'll revisit this later on. So please vote. Today's big story is about Microsoft. The company announced two major products at an event this morning here in New York. One software and one hardware. And to talk about everything and make sense of it all, I've got Ray Wong here, who was actually at the event this morning. So first up, Windows 10S.
Yep. It
is essentially a streamlined version of Windows 10 that only allows you to install apps from the Windows Store. So let's talk about Windows 10S.
Sure. Windows 10S is basically an educational version of Windows 10. It's for educational laptops, which they announced a whole bunch today. There are a couple of benefits to having a stripped down Windows. You'll still get the full benefit of Windows, only you can't install third-party apps outside the Windows Store, like you mentioned.
Kind of like how Apple sort of locks down these Macs now. Like if you try and download VLC, for example, you have to like go into the settings.
So Microsoft is saying this is for security. This will improve boot up times. It will improve speed and performance.
Now, is this operating system cloud-based like Chrome OS is?
It is not.
So it's local.
It's full on Windows. It's full on Windows.
Okay.
This is not a cloud-based stripped down version. It is full on Windows. It locks, by default, it will lock up the ability to use apps outside of the Windows Store.
So the big difference between Windows 10 and Windows 10S is just the fact that it's locked down with the store.
Right, so this is great for educational institutions like schools and stuff because they don't want you installing other apps that might give you malware or,
and
questionable material.
Instead of the IT department kind of like installing like software to hold everything down, this 10S just comes like that by default.
Right. It's easier to deploy and easier to manage for.
So it's sort of more lightweight, and then it's more secure and faster in a sense.
Right. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you want to, and you can totally do this, if you want to, you can upgrade to Windows 10 Pro for free for up to a year.
If you buy the new hardware.
Right. And you'll unlock apps from third parties. So you're basically paying to unlock the Windows Store.
So there's Windows 10S, which was like Windows. There's just like a new version of Windows, kind of like what they did with RT, but this is a much better ploy for them.
I mean, RT was like this side thing, which didn't work with their universal apps, their legacy apps.
That's right.
So that was a total different beast. So it was just like this seriously crippled version.
Okay.
This will actually work with all your apps. I mean, Microsoft's trying to promote the Windows Store. They're trying to get more apps into the store. So it's kind of like, imagine, if you will, if Apple sold like Macs, but only allowed you to download and install them from
the Mac App Store.
Which I guess they do right now by default, right?
Yeah, they do by default.
By default,
for sure.
So.
And then the other major announcement was the Surface laptop, which is an official laptop, like an actual laptop with a hardware keyboard and a screen that doesn't detach, and Microsoft makes it. This is the first time.
This is their first laptop
ever in Microsoft history that they've done a full-fledged laptop, and not like, I mean, so they
not a
did,
two-in-one.
They did the Surface, right, or like the Surface and the Surface Pro, which is mainly the tablet, and then it has the attachable keyboard. Then they did the Surface Book, which like that, it had that like weird like Metal Gear Solid hinge. And that was like close to the laptop,
Right.
and now they officially made a laptop which looks very similar to the MacBook Air. But Microsoft isn't positioning this laptop as a MacBook Air killer.
Oh, they are.
Oh, they are.
They're totally.
Oh, they are.
I'm
Okay.
pretty confident in saying that
'Cause
they
you
were
were there.
totally there to destroy the MacBook Air. I mean, they're bragging about it left and right.
Okay, so they were doing direct comparisons.
It is,
Because
yeah.
aren't they positioning this as an educational
It
laptop?
is an educational laptop, but like the Air is like a laptop that most students
Right,
would
it's like the
pick up,
$999 or
Right.
$899 entry point.
And this is $999. The service laptop.
So
is
let's.
$999.
Microsoft has a video. Let's roll this video for Microsoft so you'll see the Surface laptop really quick. Ray, cue that up when you can. Not this Ray, that Ray. That Ray.
Got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control, 'cause the power you're supplying is electrifying. You better shape up, 'cause I need a friend, and my heart is set on you. You better shape up. You better understand. To my heart, I must be true. You're the one that I want, the one that I want, yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. You're the one that I want, the one that I want, yeah. Oh, yes, indeed. You're the one that I want, the one that I want. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
So that is Microsoft's like official video for the laptop. They've got a new slogan. There's 4 colors. Let's talk about this from like a hardware and specs perspective. So entry level, $999. You get an i5 processor, right? 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigabytes of storage.
Absolutely. I think 4 gigabytes of RAM is just nonsense for a laptop.
No,
like,
definitely.
That's
I mean, there
like
are phones.
Chromebooks.
There are
Yeah,
phones that have
there are
4
phones
gigs
that have
of
4
RAM
gigabytes.
now.
What are they doing, man? I know they're trying to get that price point to like $999.
But does it really, really cost that much to double RAM?
I don't even think an Air comes with like 4 gigabytes, does it? It comes with like 8.
I don't know, but I don't know why they're doing 4 gig. It's like if they were doing a, I mean, 128 is like that's like super low
Right.
end. Like to get it under $1,000, they're like, don't buy that one. Definitely start with 8 gigs.
I feel like Microsoft always does that. You know, they like announce this like low price point, but it's like, but
It's the
that's
worst
not.
version.
That's the one that
Right.
You shouldn't buy.
So I'm on their website right now, and the only ones like you can't really even get the i7 in other colors. So there's a platinum version, there's a graphite gold version, there's a burgundy version, and there's a cobalt blue version. You can either get an i5 or an i7, and then you can do RAM 4, 8, or 16, and then it's SSD, right?
Yep.
Yep. 128, 256, or 512. So I'm just like configuring one here. So cobalt blue, i5, 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gig hard drive or SSD is $1,300, and it ships on June 15th. So it's over a month out right now, even if you pre-order today. It's got a USB port.
It's got
got
USB
a
3.0,
the
mini
USB
display,
3,
mini display port,
headphone jack.
and that's it.
And that's it. And then
And
it
that's
has
it.
like that kind of MagSafe like SD card.
No
looking-
SD card.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
no
People
SD
thought
card.
there
I thought
an-
it was an SD card.
Yeah. People thought it was SD card reader.
I looked at it. I was like, that is way too like narrow for
Yeah.
like an SD.
But that's
card.
just for the charging port.
Yeah.
So they're saying 14 hours of battery,
yeah.
which is more than Apple's ever claimed to be in a laptop, right?
Right. So I mean, I don't know what the exact specifications for that is. Is that streaming video or like a mix
Right,
of
or just
whatever?
like on, and
Like,
also is that only 10s, or is that like if you upgrade to the full version
Right.
of Windows,
So
it probably won't
something
run
we're
like
definitely
that.
going to have to test.
Right.
But I mean, a lot of people actually claim to get like 10 plus hours on their Airs. I personally have never gotten that much out of my laptops. So I'm a little skeptical of the 14-hour claim.
Can you talk about, so we got some pictures on the
Okay.
screen right now. Can you
Yeah.
talk about the hardware itself? Because
Yeah.
this thing seems to be pretty nice, right?
It's super nice. It's made out of aluminum. You won't find a single screw on anywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They've taken the Apple approach basically to hide all the screws. Here you can see the ports.
And then what is that like
So
material?
the
Like,
fabric-like material, it's like a felt-like material called Alcantara.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if I'm saying that right. It's like sourced from Italy. It feels like felt. It's super soft. If you ever use like the
Surface, right?
Surface Pro, they had a detachable keyboard in that same material. It's pretty nice.
And is the keyboard clacking, does that feel similar to
Keyboard feels really good. It feels very similar to like a MacBook Air.
Oh, it doesn't
so
feel like the Surface, because whenever I typed on a Surface, I always felt like it was not great.
1.5 millimeters of travel, really
so
nice.
it actually, because I saw in that video, it's got kind of like the butterfly mechanism.
But it's not as flat as a MacBook or MacBook Pro. Great trackpad.
Great trackpad.
Touch screen, pixel sense display.
Yeah. The thing is touchscreen.
Yeah, that's really nice too.
And it's a 1080 monitor?
Yes.
Okay,
So it's 3:2 aspect ratio. I think
nothing crazy high res.
Yeah.
But it does have a
looks
touch
pretty
screen.
good.
Do you know how flat can you fold it?
so it doesn't fold all the way back.
So you can't convert it into a
it's
tablet.
a laptop, so it goes pretty much like
Now,
this.
Ray, you played with this.
Yep.
Was it weird jamming away?
No, not at all.
No, because there was the famous Steve Jobs, right, where he was like, whether it was a quote or a demo.
Steve
he
Jobs
was saying,
also
like,
said, you
no
know,
one,
if they see a stylus, they blew it.
Right
and,
now you got the
So-
Apple Pencil. Yeah, I mean, Apple's in a completely different spot right now. But so it's not weird, like, you're comfortable with like doing touchscreen. I mean, obviously you're not going to do the whole thing touchscreen,
Right.
but sometimes if you want to click something, it's
Right. So I've used lots of like Chromebooks with touchscreens before. Like sometimes I even like accidentally poke at my own MacBook because I'm like so used to that. You're not going to be like doing like full input with your fingers on
Right,
the touchscreen. You're not going to be like interacting with it most
But it'll
of the day.
be nice
so it's
to like maybe to like resize
yeah.
a photo,
or if you're on YouTube,
like,
you can click the like play
click
button
or
you
make
know,
the thing
exactly.
full screen.
So it's
I mean, I think we're at the point right now where enough of us have. Everyone has a smartphone. I think it's safe to say, like, majority of people have smartphones that is touchscreen. We're all used to a touch interface that, like, Microsoft is trying to bridge the gap between what we know for the last 30 years as a traditional desktop graphical operating system. Like, you have all your windows, and you know that the minimize button minimizes something. We don't have that as much on the phone. It's all, like, singular app-based, and the home button goes back, and you have your Android kind of UI. But I think what Microsoft is doing is saying, like, everything will be touch-enabled on the screen. All the buttons, every menu and window is touchable, but we will still give you the full laptop experience. What I don't understand is this upgrade to Windows 10 Pro.
Right.
Okay, so the Surface laptop, the thing we've been talking about this whole time. Ray, bring up a picture of it again. So the Surface laptop, this thing, that guy right there. That comes with Windows 10S,
right.
which is the, quote, stripped down version of Windows. Now, they're giving, if you buy this laptop, they're giving you a free upgrade to Windows 10 Pro for the rest of the year.
Yep.
And then it'll cost you, what is it, $50 to upgrade if you buy something like that. And then there are other manufacturers doing Windows 10S laptops. I don't understand. I guess I do understand because it's like slimmed down and it boots faster and that kind of thing. I just think it's weird that they're like, yeah, if you want to unlock this laptop's full potential, just spend $50, and then it completely transforms the landscape of the computer because then you
It's
can
a little
install.
weird, yeah.
To me, it feels a little weird, but they're billing it as like this super lightweight, like actually lightweight, and then the operating system is supposed to be super lightweight. But then they're saying, oh, if you want to like beef it up, you can just pay us, or you can get it for free. So are students going to be confused when they get this laptop and they see that ad? It's like, okay, so and also I have to say it, the 10S, iPhone S, Galaxy S, like are customers going to think that 10S is like a half a step above? You know, I think this might be a little bit confusing from a user perspective. Think about a regular 17-year-old male or female college student that's going to go buy this laptop from Best Buy, and they see 10S, and they're going to say, what does S mean? And then you're going to have to rely on the Best Buy rep to explain to you, oh, this is just like a stripped-down version, a lightweight version, but you also get the new version for free if you want to.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit confusing.
It's definitely confusing.
But wrap up some final thoughts on the laptop, because I only saw this thing from a distance,
Yeah.
and it looks awesome.
I mean, everything sounds really great. They say it's 50%. Microsoft says it's 50% faster than the MacBook Air, which hasn't been updated in a couple of years. I'm a little worried that it's missing some of the ports and stuff. You know, no SD card slot, and even an Air has like 2 USB ports.
Right.
So,
it's kind of lacking on the peripheral
it's a little lacking
side
there.
A little bit.
But the performance seemed really good, even on the i5 model that I tested. Touchscreen is fantastic. Keyboard is fantastic, and the trackpad. Those are like the 3 essential things you need.
So it's
for
a 13.5-inch screen, right?
Yep.
Were you bothered at all by the resolution? Oh,
Not
you
at
have
all.
an Air, so you're working with a lower resolution than that. This
Right.
is not even 1920.
I mean, honestly, it doesn't really bother me.
Doesn't bother
I mean,
you.
it
Okay.
looks as good as the screen.
Oh yeah, and then this is Ray's video. What'd you shoot this on? iPhone?
Yeah.
Nice. So this was literally just a mere hours ago, and no one really saw this coming either. This leaked yesterday, but no one really knew that Microsoft was finally going to actually. Yes, you can buy a Microsoft laptop finally.
Yeah, this is a first for them, so we'll see how this goes.
So we'll obviously get it and review it as we do with all of these new products. But I'm into it. I mean, I am a Mac user, but I've said this a while ago, like, why doesn't Microsoft just make laptops? And now they finally do. But of course, it has to be a Windows 10s laptop. But again, you get the upgrade for free. Did they show off Windows 10s? Like, was there any noticeable difference? I watched some of the keynote, and then was it Panos saying, yeah, we've even changed the background, the desktop background, to something more streamlined. Like,
well, I think they changed the background obviously to
probably
appeal
for branding
purposes, and to appeal more to students. You know, the other one had like lights flashing through, so streaming through. So
that's the default background on the new.
Probably a little better
on the new version. So and again, you like the material of the laptop? Okay, so we'll probably have it in here on the show at some point.
Laptop ships on or launches on June 15. You can pre-order today.
Right.
I like it so far.
Cool. All right, let's take a look at the poll.
I gotta run.
Dory. All right, you can.
All right, I gotta run, guys.
Thanks for joining, Ray. I appreciate your insight. No, Ray's got other work to do. I appreciate your time. Thank you, Ray. That was the slow clap for Ray. All right, so OS of choice. Wow, there are officially no votes for Chrome OS. Look at this. There are 0 votes for Chrome OS. And I called it. I said I bet half of you would vote for Mac OS and the other half would vote for Windows, and we're split down the middle at 44%. And then 11% of you Linux. I'm not sure how truthful you're being. Maybe you just wanted to troll. But yeah, looking at some comments. Can you unplug the keyboard like on the Surface? No, you cannot. It's an actual laptop. I have a Surface Book 4. To use the most productive and powerful laptop. I occasionally reverse tablet for handling conferences. I guess it might be lost. Might imagine. Yeah, so Ron, there are plenty of, Lance uses a Surface Pro here in the office. I know that laptop did pretty well in terms of like penetrating the business market, in terms of penetrating like students. I haven't been in college in a while, so I'm not walking around on campus. But from what I understand, a lot of people are buying those. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Surface laptop because, again, for the 19th time, it is the first time Microsoft is actually making a full-fledged laptop. They did the Surface, then the Surface 2, and the Pro, and the 3, and the 4. That was the like beefy, hunky, chunky tablet. Then it had that kind of keyboard that you snapped onto it. Then they did the Surface Book like a year or 2 ago, which had that crazy, like, again, I use this analogy already, but reminded me of Metal Gear Solid. And that detached from the keyboard as well. But this is the first time where you close the laptop lid, and there is a Windows logo there, and the thing is manufactured and made by Microsoft. And it seems to be pretty capable, and it really looks identical to a MacBook Air, but it is more powerful from what I understand. Well, thanks for joining, everyone. That is all the time we have for today. Again, we talked about the new Microsoft Surface laptop. They're literally calling it the Surface laptop. And then Windows 10s, this new slimmed down, kind of safe and secure version of Windows that you can only download. The main difference is you can only download apps from the Windows Store. And yeah, let me know your thoughts below. I'll troll around in the comments in a bit. And that's all the time we have from this studio here in New York City. My name is Sam Sheffer. And you were just live with me watching Technically Speaking, and we'll be back later this week with more. See you then.